Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Joey Plays and Build, and today we are going to play and build a Maiasaura habitat. It's a dinosaur that hasn't been featured in this channel, so I think it's going to be very interesting to build a habitat around the Maiasaura. Now, the map that I'm using is the autumn version of Germany. It's a very beautiful map. There's some lovely trees, autumn trees, and I choose this specific spot for the Maiasaura habitat. I think this is a very wonderful spot. There's a view of the ocean. It's gonna be very nice to look at. And today we are going to figuring out how to build a wonderful habitat. So hopefully you guys join me for this ride and we'll get started in building a beautiful Maiasaura habitat. Okay, so for this type of build, we're going to break it down into 2 or 3 sections. So this could be a part 2 or part 3, depending on the whole scenario that we're going for. Because this is a big space, maybe we could add more dinosaurs down the line, or whenever I feel like it, who knows at this point. But we are going to focus on the Maiasaura. The Maiasaura is a very popular dinosaur in the Jurassic World community. It has a derpy face, and I could see why not a lot of people like the design. However, their skin patterns are beautiful, and the skin pattern that I use for my Maiasaura is the mangrove forest. It's this reddish orange type of color, and you will see it at the end of the video that we're going for. Now, before I build the habitat, I want to build some sort of path design, something for our guests to walk into, but with a little bit of twist here and there. Of course, we're just gonna play around with some of the shapes, and I'm just going with how I'm building. There's no rhyme or reason towards these type of shapes. It's all up to you how you want to build it. For me, I'm just gonna play around with some of these shapes here, and then right in the middle we could build some sort of garden, maybe a little river. It all how our creative juice is going for. So the remaining of this type of build is just me playing around with the path work. Maybe you guys have any inspiration. I know path work is not for everyone. It's not for me as well. I rather keep it simple, but maybe in this type of build you could see how I built my path work and some of the items here as well. One thing I noted is that I'm not going to use any fence in this type of habitat build. It's going to be a fenceless habitat enclosure, but with the replacement of these wonderful items. So hopefully we could showcase that. So anyways, enjoy this little speed build here. I'm going to do a timestamp if you guys want to go straight into the habitat, but yeah, I'll see you guys later. Okay, so there it is. That's our little garden. Very simple, not very too complicated. We're gonna focus on that middle side of the section right now. This is going to build our Maiasaura. So without further ado, let's go ahead and build this habitat. Okay, now let's go ahead and build some mountains. Let's play with the terrain a little bit. I love a little background for my habitats, and mountains are so beautiful. Terrains is something that we should be playing a lot in this game. There's not a lot of options, not too complicated, only 4 options. So yeah, I always advise you guys to play a little mountains, make some beautiful landscape for your habitats. And of course, some landscapes. Let's build a very natural habitats for our Maiasaura. A little stream would be nice. And then we're just gonna play around with some of the forest, the foliage we have here. Some of the foliage that I use the most in this build is of course the temperate, the autumn temperate, and of course the taiga. And we could just dab a little bit with the desert foliage. Just play around with it, see how it works, what doesn't work. Oh, and of course we're gonna use the ground fiber. The ground fiber is the resources that the Maiasaura needs. We are not, however, going to use the tall nut, just because the tall nut is a very tropical type of forage, doesn't fit this temperate environment, so maybe it just doesn't work here in this type of map. That's just me. You could build whatever you want. I'm just building how I building my vision, and we'll just keep going from there. Now, of course, I mentioned before, we're not going to use any fence. There's a lot of items that we could replace the fences. For me, I'm going to use some rocks. Of course, the best type of rocks are the temperate rock. 5 is very long, it could cover so much, but there's a lot of rocks that I'm using here. The taiga rocks is one of the go-tos, and of course the Mediterranean is possibly my favorite type of rocks. And then we're just gonna cover them with beautiful trees and landscape. The autumn trees are my favorites in this game. Hopefully we get more beautiful trees, and we're just gonna play around, kind of dash them, kind of cover, dabbing a little bit with the foliage and the rocks just to feel a little bit natural. Now again, be creative. It's your world. You can do whatever you want, you envision. And what I envision, I want a little seating area here. Something for our guests to relax. Maybe they need a little brunch, a lunch to eat. And what better view is to see our dinosaurs? It's just the best way to have lunch, in my opinion. So here's a little example. I just have a little restaurant here. The path works kind of iffy, but you'll see in the later on that I kind of fix all of that. But that's just one example how you could make your habitats, and playing with the terrains to make your habitat such a very unique way. Okay, so here's something interesting. Now, of course, when you think of Maiasaura, you think of, well, its name, Good Mother, is the Good Mother dinosaur. So let's have a nesting ground here, and I think this is the perfect spot of a nesting ground. However, my nesting ground isn't as par. I don't know. I never built a nesting ground before, but maybe you guys can help me. Drop it down in the comments. What would I need to build a lovely nesting ground? I noticed that the Mediterranean rock number 1 does feels a shape like a little egg. So I have that in mind, but building a little nest, I don't know. I just can't have it in in my mind. But that's where you guys come in and help me out. Give me some of your suggestion in the comments. Now, of course, we're playing with some of the foliage here, the rock work. Normally, I use the Taiga rock work here, but I also use the temperate rock work, the rocks. Usually, the Taiga rock number 3 is a very smooth looking rock. I really loved it. But placing some rocks here and there and some of the foliage, the Taiga and the temperate foliage, but I also use a little bit of the desert foliage. Now, I'm not using too much foliage and rocks because I still want my dinosaurs to roam around freely. If you have so much things going on, your dinosaur is not gonna move, or worse of all, they're gonna glitch out and they're gonna get stuck there, and that's something we're trying to avoid. So use less, but it still shows so much into the habitat. Okay, now let's have some real fun. I want a hotel, and I really want a hotel right in the center of the habitat. Well, I think it's a good view just seeing your dinosaurs below you and have a lovely hotel. You know, some people want to stay in, and what better is to stay into this lovely, lovely Germany stage, this autumn Germany stage here with a lovely hotel watching your dinosaurs. So that's what we're doing here. And if you see right here, more seating areas, and maybe having a little shopping area, you know, buying our merchandise while you're watching the dinosaurs. Or again, one of the best ways is eating while you're watching the dinosaurs. So yeah, we're just playing around with some of the decorative items in this game. They do have a lot of unique ways that you could build your habitat with. It's all up to you. It's just fun just to experiment and just play around, and once you get the hang of it, you could just be a very good habitat builder as well. I'm not saying that I'm the best, far from it, but like again, I just love playing around with some of the stuff in the game. So um the rest of the build is very self-explanatory, very simple. Hopefully you get to learn a little bit. Maybe you are inspired building your own little habitat here and there. But this is all I have for you guys. Drop down in the comment what you guys think, any suggestions, some advice. You could guys help me out, anything that will help me make me improve. If you like the video, if you like the habitat, please give it a like. It will really help a lot. If you like the video and you want to see more, I suggest you hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of habitats to build, and I'm looking forward for any of your guys' comments or advice or any ideas. Anyways, this is it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next build.